Hello everybody and welcome back to AgSkies 2. Not much has changed up top since last episode. Actually, I don't think much changed down below either. I finished up a couple of items that I was working on. Reorganized power a little bit. I was losing power. The leadstone energy cell that was buffering power into the ME system was nearly empty. So I've got that. I've got an energy cell here buffering a little better. I've got lots of power coming into the power acceptor. I'm still not getting anything into the energy cell, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's set up so that it's getting a connection here. It's blue. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it, and hopefully it will start charging in a little bit. It could be that I'm using leadstone, which, let's see, I think leadstone only runs at like 200 RF per tick. That could be it. I don't know, could be something else. But anyway, for today, I think I would like to work through some of the some more quests in Power Grid. You can see a lot more quests got opened up. So first thing I'm going to do is open the get the Steam Dynamos going, and then work down through here to this looks like big reactors. So I'm going to try to open some of that stuff up. I'm going to do some crafting, and I'll be back. I got the Steam Dynamo crafted. Also worked out how to automate gear production at the same time. So let me show you that real quick. So if you go into the crafting terminal, you can see I have tin and copper set up already. So I'm going to ask it to make me 2 copper gears. And, oh, I've got crafting running. Hang on, let's go see how that's going. I was out of logic processor, so I started making a bunch. Okay, there's only one left. Okay, it's done. So, never mind. Just a little bit left to do. Anyway, so let's ask it to make me 2 copper gears. It's going to say, all right, I need, it's going to need 8 ingots. It has 3. It's going to need some more. So it's going to have to use a block. Yay, go. What we're going to see is a bunch of ingots being fed in over here. You can see it fed in the 8 ingots needed. And what's happening over here, the smeltery drain will activate on a signal. Now, it used to activate on a solid signal, so you didn't have to pulse it. But for some reason, when I set that up, it's now activating on pulse. So I've got a redstone clock here set up, activating it. I tried putting the clock right beside it. For some reason, it didn't want to activate. Not sure if it was an issue with having the switch in the wrong position or what, but setting up this way lets me see that it's pulsing, lets me see how that relates to it actually getting the drain to function, and you can see now once it drops out, I have an item duct set down here, and oh, wait a minute, that is not what I intended to do. Okay, in this item duct, if I can select just it, you can see I've blacklisted the gear cast. So everything else it's going to try to pull off and stick on, throw into this interface, which is the same one that inserted the ingots into the controller. In here I have my 2 patterns, creating 1 tin gear from 4 tin ingots and 1 copper gear with 4 copper ingots. And I can make any more of those that I like. But anyway, we have our Steam Dynamo. Now we're going to do dynamo upgrades. And these are the same kinds of dynamos. I used magmatic dynamos over here. And they can be augmented as well. Right now it's just redstone control, but let's see what else it can do. So It wants me to make transmission coil ducting, secondary gearbox, and secondary transmission coil for each of them. Or not for each of them, make one for the quest, and it'll give me another secondary gearbox augment. So transmission coil ducting. Copper, lead ingots. Alright, we've got our transmission coil ducting. Now let's get our secondary gearbox. Autocrafting makes this not nearly as challenging because you can just run through it. And I still missed the secondary gearbox. Missing silver ingots now. Alright, now we have those augments, and we can claim our other secondary gearbox reward. Not entirely sure I'm going to use those right now, so I'm just going to toss them in. Might use them in the future. Well, now it wants some different kinds of... We've got a flux duct. Right, let's in flux duct, and it wants a red net energy cable. Just a different kind of power transmission, and okay, we're gonna need some red net cabling. Red net cabling is cool. I don't think I've used it yet. Let me show you red net cabling real quick. Gotta make a lever real quick. Alright, so right now I've got, it looks like I turned dust off for some reason. Right. Okay, I've got him enabled on high signal. Let's turn all of these to enabled on high. Alright, and now let's take... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, there we go. So I'm having to set connection modes on each piece of cabling. But, okay. So now I have this switch connected to all of those. And when I turn it on, you can see it activated. So look at the color there. And there you can see that they turned on and off. So basically gives you another way besides just running red net or standard redstone dust lines. you can use it to basically, instead of having to do things like this, you can simply run cabling, which is cool. I'm not going to replace that over there because I like the visual just for the time being. So anyway, RedNet energy cable takes a little bit of that, a little bit of electrum, and a block of redstone. Need a little bit more. It's okay. Should probably eventually teach it how to make a lot of these things, but that'll come later. And now we have RedNet energy cable. You can use it to do several interesting RedNet things. I don't really like it, so I'm probably not going to use it. But that's just me. And we're going to get a tuberous flux capacitor for our troubles, which is basically a flux capacitor based on a potato. Seriously. Tuberous flux capacitor is a potato, lead, and redstone. It holds 16,000 RF. Potentially useful in limited circumstances, but I'm not going to worry with it. The leadstone energy cell that we got as a reward, we got that as a reward, so I don't think that counts. But I actually want to make a resonant energy cell at some point. Let's take a look at it. A resonant energy cell holds 50 million RF. You make it with a redstone energy cell and Enderium. What's the difference here? Resonant energy cell, frame full. Okay. Redstone energy. Oh, okay, this is the various bits and pieces that you have to go through. So to make the cell frame, we need hardened glass. We don't have any of that. Alright, this is going to be a longer process, which I will deal with later. We'll just go ahead and claim it, because I am going to be building one of those later. And we've got our energy cable. It's our electrum ingot. And cryostabilized flux duct. That, I believe, requires cryothium, which let's look. Yeah, cryostabilized flux duct. Yeah, it requires gelled cryothium inside a cryostabilized flux duct empty. That's not too hard to build. Redstone energy flux duct is this kind of thing filled with some redstone. The problem is you have to get gelid cryothium, which requires cryothium dust, which requires blizz powder, niter, snowballs, and redstone. I don't have an ability to get blizz powder right now, or niter, so actually snowballs wouldn't be that bad. Have the glacial we can make a glacial precipitator for that, but the other two are going to have to wait. Okay, now we've got some interesting guys coming up over here. Let's just make a steam turbine and a steam boiler. Water heated into a boiling produces steam. Pump steam into a steam turbine. It will produce power. So a steam turbine and a steam boiler. Okay, we need some pistons and some silver gears. that's cooking, we need a transmission coil. More silver. So those will automatically make their way back into the system. And I'm going to go back over here to where I have this set up. There's one of them. Got a transmission coil. We're just waiting on the other silver gear to show up. And there it is. Perfect. And we have our steam turbine. And we need the steam boiler now. That has some interesting components. It uses a sludge boiler with some tanks and nether brick stairs. Nether brick stairs can be made by smelting netherrack. So to make 3 nether brick stairs, I'll need 6 nether brick blocks, each of which take 4 nether brick, so 24 pieces of netherrack. I have 1. Okay, that's probably not going to happen right now. Let's make sure there's no other way to get those. No. Nope. Alright, that is not going to work out. So, let's see if... netherrack there. Not enough, but some. That's coming off with the sludge boiler. I may have to make a trip into the nether earlier than expected. Let's see how else you can get netherrack. You can get it by pulverizing nether ores, some chance of it. You can get it by mana infusion to turn 1 into 2. You get it 0.55% chance off the sludge boiler, and obviously you can get it from the nether. Alright, I don't think I'm going to be doing that in this episode. Let's see what else we've got. We can make a bioreactor, make biofuel, and we can make yellorium. I already had yellorium. I have yellorium dust. Yellorium ingot is simply smelted yellorium dust. Or not smelted, but run it through a furnace. I guess that would be smelted. Alright, we've got our yellorium ingot, and we can get 16 yellorite ore for our trouble. That is going to be the fuel when we get into the reactors. I'm not going to build a reactor right now. That's a couple of episodes in and of itself, and it's going to require some planning. So, yeah, I'll do that later. Let's go get some more wind power. An electrum rotor and a flux windmill. The electrum rotor is Invar with electrum. If you recall, electrum is equal parts silver and gold. So this is one of the things I've been wanting to set up. You can smelt electrum blend. Electrum blend is simply pulverized gold, pulverized silver. So, pulverized gold with pulverized silver makes makes electrum blend. And then if I feed that into the furnace, get 2 units of electrum out. So toss that in there. Oh, no CPUs available. What are they doing? Ah, I was just ahead of it. Alright, 2 electrum blend, or 1 electrum blend really, makes 1, this will be a processing pattern, makes 1 electrum ingot. Toss that back into the system. And in the terminal interface, we add this to the redstone furnace. So now, if I tell it I want, what do I need, 4 electrum ingots for this? Make me a few. And do I have Invar? Yes, it's set up to craft. So, let's make that electrum rotor. And then we need a flux windmill, reinforced, which we get from a reinforced machine frame, which is made from a hardened machine frame, which is made from a regular machine frame with an electrum gear. So, we now have our hardened machine frame. We need to use it to make our reinforced machine frame. Now we're going to need hardened glass and a signalum gear here. Hardened glass we made with pulverized obsidian and lead ingots. That shouldn't take too long. Alright, let's get that going over here in the induction smelter. That's another thing I'll probably want to automate at some point, is making hardened glass. You use it for several different interesting things. And then we're going to need a signalum gear. Signalum is another one of those things that we made with a blend. In this case, 3 pulverized copper, a silver, and a bucket of destabilized redstone. So, let's get our copper. We have our 3 copper. Well, we will in a minute. pulverized silver. And then destabilized redstone, we need 1,000 millibuckets. Each piece of redstone gets you 100 millibuckets, so we need to run 10 pieces of redstone through the magma crucible. And we will need a bucket. Okay, fluid transposer has 1,000 millibuckets. Now we have a bucket of destabilized redstone, and that will let us make 4 signalum. The signalum will go into the redstone furnace to become signalum ingots. Actually, I could have just tossed the dust directly into the smeltery to do the gear, but I didn't think about that. I was thinking about how to automate it and all the different steps you would have to go through. And in just a minute, that will be done and show up over here. And I will be back when that happens. Okay, I didn't get the recording back. I thought it was on, and it wasn't. But anyway, I now have the flux windmill. So the signal gear came in as expected, and then used that to make the reinforced machine frame. Then simply added silver, redstone, and another transmission coil to get the reinforced windmill block. That gives us 4 fluxed electrum and a reward bag. So fluxed electrum is just basically fluxed electrum blend, which is add electrum blend to destabilized redstone, and you get fluxed electrum. It's useful for several things. The fluxed hammer, basically different things that add energy or flux to them to make them do more damage. The flux infused pickaxe is lots of fun for making big holes. Flux infused bow, fluxed electrum can be used to make the structural Mark 6 upgrade from Java, and several different fun things. Anyway, we also have a greater reward bag, which got us bacon jerky. Very excited about the bacon jerky. Alright, let me get some flux duct, and let's go install this windmill. Just because, you know, no sense having it hanging out. Toss the jerky in there with the food. And let's see. Be very careful up here. I think what I will do is just come off of I am holding shift so that hopefully I won't die. I really need to make a jetpack. Yeah, that's not working. Okay. Um, better ways to do this. Yeah, that works. Can't quite. Yeah, I can't quite get an angle to put that on. Maybe that wasn't the right windmill to put it on. Electrum rotor. Okay, I'm guessing iron rotor is the first one. Electrum rotor, signalum rotor. Okay. So the electrum rotor seems to be the second one in the series. Whereas the flux windmill reinforced is the third one in the series. It requires the signal. I wonder if it requires the signalum rotor to function. Okay, I'm going to figure that out off camera. For right now, I am going to take this stuff up and I think at some point I would like to make a little safer way to go play with these things. That would probably be a pretty smart thing to do rather than just hanging out up there like a crazy person. Alright. Alrighty, so did not get the windmill hooked up the way I wanted to. Let's just, for pure morbid curiosity, see if it works when I'm not way up high. Okay. Maybe it was just an issue of not having enough clearance around it or something. Alright, so once I get the a better way of servicing that area, I'll be able to put that up, and I will probably go ahead and work on that a little bit. But anyway, I think that's enough for this episode. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.